Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Yoga and Yum podcast. This is your host, Sybil Shelton Ford, and I am so glad that you are here. This is the place where we practice deep mindfulness, radical self care, and learn to live our lives on purpose so that we can experience more yum. In today's episode, we will explore the practice of mindful eating. I have been passionate about mindful eating for about 5 years now after I took an amazing training. And years ago, I used to conduct workshops called How to Eat Half a Cookie. They were super fun. And this episode and next week's episode will be a condensed version of that workshop. So today is part one, and this is the practice portion. I kind of went back and forth about thinking, do I want to really talk about the benefits in science first and the practice second, or do I want people to just to jump right into the practice and then follow up with the science? And I thought I would do that because I want you to experience this as soon as possible. So today is the practice. And then next week, we'll talk about the benefits and how to refine the practice. So hopefully, this works out for you. So, what is mindful eating anyway? Well, mindful eating involves paying laser focused attention to the tastes, smells, and textures of your food while eating slowly and calmly and just becoming like one with this whole process. And you can practice mindful eating in a variety of ways. You can decide to eat an entire meal this way if you have time. Just a caveat here, which isn't really a caveat, but some people may see it that way. Um, you're going to need about 30, maybe 40 minutes if you're going to do a full meal. Um, I recommend just starting with one mindful bite. In fact, I strongly encourage you to take one mindful bite every single day. It will change your relationship with eating and change your appreciation of food, and you'll just learn new things. You'll learn new nuances about the food that you eat, and you'll also learn um, nuances about your response to food and the whole practice of eating. So, mindful eating strategies also allow us to enjoy small amounts of indulgences without guilt. So, your chocolates and your potato chips and your cakes and donuts, things like that. In fact, when I used to teach this workshop, we would practice on just one single piece of chocolate. They could pick milk chocolate or dark chocolate. And it's a really powerful experience, especially if you're a chocolate lover. This practice intensifies the flavor, and you'll find you only need a little bit to satisfy a full craving. All right, so now I will go over the process, and I encourage you to listen to the entire sequence first. And then, if you have time, if you're able, or when you're able, to play this podcast again while you're eating. So the first time through, listen to the steps. And then as this becomes a regular practice, which I hope it is, just to take one mindful bite every single day, you won't really need to hear my voice because you'll already kind of know what to do. Just keep in mind that, because I know many people are busy, if you're choosing to take just one mindful bite, then set aside about 5 minutes or so. I really encourage you to do this if you are doing this with an indulgence, like one of those special treats, because it will blow your mind. It'll blow your mind how you can truly satisfy a craving without a lot. All right, so without further ado, let's get into it. So here are the steps of mindful eating. The first is we sit. And I'm not talking about in your car. It will not work in your car, by the way. So the first is we sit in a comfortable space, maybe in a beautiful environment if you can, maybe your special or favorite place in your house. That's a really nice place to start. And if possible, turn off all distractions. So choose a time where you won't be disrupted. It's best if you do this alone. It's hard to do it with other people in the room because other people tend to be distractions. So make sure that you turned off your phone, unless you're listening to this podcast the first time that you do it. But turn off your phone if you can, your television, really all distractions. And then after you're sitting in a distraction-free space, breathe deeply and just relax and allow your brain and your mind just to become enveloped in this one action. So be really present. Now receive the food with all five senses. Start with seeing. If you have the gift of sight, look at your food. Look at the colors, look at the textures. See if there are patterns in your food. Like some fruits, especially oranges, and some cabbages, if you're eating them raw, have this beautiful, almost like a mandala effect. So see what you see in your food. Next, notice what you hear. Does your food make a sound? Maybe it's still sizzling. Maybe it crackles. Maybe it has no sound. But listen, just to see. Next is smell. So go ahead, bring the food close to your nose and take a deep inhalation and just breathe in that yummy aroma and just kind of see what comes up for you as you're doing this sort of meditative practice with your food. Next is touch and taste. So for touch, place one bite of food in your mouth, but don't chew it yet. Feel the food in your mouth. What do you feel? What sensations? What textures? What do you feel when it enters your mouth? And then finally, take a breath and do your first chew. So one chew, and then pause and notice what you experience. Do you get a burst of flavor? How does the food now change once you break the surface? And then take a breath and take your next chew. What do you notice? How does the food change? Does the flavor get stronger? Is it more enjoyable? And then continue this way. So take a breath and chew again, and then notice. And continue. Take a breath. Chew again and notice. We're trying to slow this process way down. The aim is to chew your food around 15 to 30 times so that it becomes nearly impossible for you not to swallow. So you want to chew until it becomes liquid, pretty much. I mean, not everything will do that. It might just dissolve. But until you get this really super strong urge to swallow because you don't want this to be stressful. You want it to be enjoyable. And the whole time, breathing slowly and steadily and staying calm and staying in the moment. Really allow yourself also through this process to see what emotions come up while you're eating. Maybe you have some nostalgic um, experiences. Maybe you just kind of find yourself in this bliss state. Maybe, especially if it's with an indulgence, you might find nuances that maybe you didn't realize were there, and maybe they're not as enjoyable. Just notice what you feel, notice what you notice, and not attach to it. You're just kind of being one with the process. If this is something that you've eaten often, what did you notice about your food this time that you've never noticed before? Make note of that. And when you are done, maybe you're done with that one mindful bite and you've had your swallow, give thanks, acknowledge the experience, practice gratitude, and exhale and let it go. Now, you may choose to take another mindful bite or just end the practice after one bite. Notice what comes up for you. I would love to know what comes up for you. So comment and let me know if you are willing to try this practice, which I really hope that you are. So next week, we'll dive deeper into mindful eating and we'll talk about sciencey stuff. So we'll talk about the importance of breathing while eating. I'm telling you, once you really learn this, you'll see how the breath is just connected in everything and how it affects absolutely everything. And we'll also be talking about the science of taste buds, which will blow your mind. And hopefully, this information altogether will help you refine how you receive food and also make really mindful decisions about how you choose what to eat. So thank you so much for listening. And if you feel so moved, please leave a comment and or a rating and share this podcast with loved ones. So until next time, here's wishing you all the yum in your life. I hope you have a wonderful day or night, and I will see you soon. Peace. Bye.